must be Kylie's biggest fan because I've been voted it and everyone tells me so, so who am I to argue? So the main attraction was looks, and she's just got a bubbly personality, she's natural and she doesn't seem really big-headed, you know. You can reach her. Got to know people with the same interest in her as I've got, and through going around with them, we've got to know people who work behind the scenes of a, you know, a record company or promotional people and photographers, and through them you kind of find out little snippets of information, and you know, you learn the less advertised places where you can meet her as opposed to just seeing her.
This is your lucky day! You have won Superfan Challenge, which means that you are my biggest fan, so that means that I'm your biggest fan for being my biggest fan. You know what I mean?
You know I'm watching from across the street, just waiting for a chance to meet.
I suppose everyone grows out of things, it's a phase, but on the other end, I've liked her, 2 years now, and people have said from the beginning, yeah, you'll go off her, you know, a few weeks, teenagers do, but I like her now, my room's covered, so you never know how long I like her for.
Stay with you forever, 'cause you're perfection. Don't change your style ever, 'cause you're perfection.
Positively sure you've got everything I've ever had out. You've probably got things I've never even seen before, so maybe I should come over to your place and we can have a look at them. Anyway, good luck. See you.
I've met Kylie quite a few times now, and I used to just see her like going past in a car to television programmes, but more recently I've been able to find out like if she's recording something down at PWL, particularly in the summer holidays. I was down there a fair bit. She was recording her album. And I got to meet her quite a few times then face to face and talk. Every time I see her, it's like the first time I just see her in a car, you always want something better. So the next time I'd want, obviously, to meet her, which I was trying to do from the start. And it's like once I've met her enough times, you know, you want photos with her to prove it. And then after that, you want things you can never have. Like, well, you never know. I mean, you want dinner with her and you want her to come to her house and have dinner with you and things like that. But you always want more than you've had and that, but don't generally get it, I suppose.
They're playing live in the shops, signing records and stuff, so we got our singles and that in here.
Singer's gorgeous. No, she's on here because she fancies Justin. Yeah. She loves his singers. She thinks they're brilliant.
I do, I think they're a really good band. And
they're brilliant, they're just amazing. Their music's so good.
In the years when we were constantly sort of slated by the music press and nobody really, you know, gave a damn about Amitri, the main thing that really kept us going was just loads of people writing to us. So, unfortunately cursed with intelligent fans, which means that you get pretty weighty letters. Although some of them, as I have here, are not quite so intelligent or weighty. This is actually from Mary Ann, who claims she's our biggest fan, but she is in fact our smallest fan. Thank you, Mary Ann. But we have a lot of respect for them.
Oh, he's gorgeous. He's got beautiful eyes and lovely sideys, and he's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous.
Again, Justin.
I love Brian.
Brian the drummer.
Brian the drummer. Oh, he's great. He really is.
Is that yours? Which is yours? Hello.
Sign top. And my album.
Take it off first.
My album too.
Go and write my name on mine for me, please. I've only got a wee bit of paper. To Suzanne, lots of love, Justin. I love you forever. Your jacket's got to put my name on. I should have brought my jacket. You're signed inside it, eh?
Sorry,
Don't worry about it. I remember that.
Thank you.
I got a photograph with them. Did you see it? Oh, it was great. Brilliant. I know he was there, like.
Well, like, people usually come up to us after gigs and they've got spots and kind of glasses and they go, I really thought that song was so meaningful. It reminds me of Dylan. And now we get the sort of yeah, you know, you ask these kids what else they like and they say New Kids on the Block,
Brother Beyond and stuff.
which is I think is fantastic. You know, in fact, you know, they're listening to Nothing in My Arms and listening to Waking Hours, and that's great. You know,
I mean, you'd be mad if you said, oh, I don't like them.
I've been a Michael Jackson fan since the age of 4. I've got his pictures on my ceiling, on my walls and door. I've bought his every record, souvenirs I have so many. When Pocket Money Day comes around, I spend my every last penny.
Michael Jackson is the most special person in the whole world to me because I just love everything about him. I love his dancing, I love his singing, I love his personality, everything. I've been a fan of Michael's since I was 12 years old and I've never looked back since. I spend all my money on him and all my time on him, literally. Sometimes I see things like clothes that look quite nice and I look at the price and I think how many Jackson records I could have got with that. And so that's it, the clothes are out the window, I have to get the Jackson records instead. So far I've spent about £7,000 on my collection, which includes records, dolls, cereal boxes, beakers, badges, you name it, magazines, everything really. And I don't regret spending that much money because that's all I want to spend it on. 1988 was the best year of my whole life because that's when Michael Jackson came. It was a dream come true for me. I couldn't believe it when the papers announced that he was actually going to come to Britain because I'd waited for it for so long. When the tickets were announced, I thought I wasn't going to get one at all. So it was quite a surprise when I actually managed to get 18 for all over Europe. Once the concerts were over, I couldn't just walk off and go back home. I had to be near him somehow. So I just went straight off back to the hotels where he was staying, and I slept outside them and stayed outside them all day, hoping to catch a glimpse of him. I just wanted to be near him all that time. At nights it was really cold sleeping outside of the hotels, but I just wanted to be there just in case he came out. I'd watch the 7th floor, which was where he stayed at the Mayfair, to see when the lights went off at night, to see when he'd actually go to sleep. I managed to get in 7 times and up to his floor twice. I never actually found the room, but I got quite close and I spent a lot of time hiding in cupboards. And once I was on his floor for about half an hour, just running around into different cupboards with this security guard chasing me with his keys rattling, and I was thinking, oh no, he's going to get me soon. Here I am standing next to the limousine that Michael used to travel around London. I made sure I touched the handles a few times. The first concert I went to in Cologne, there was a few Jackson lookalikes standing outside the hotel. As you can see, all the photos I took turned out a disaster. Here's Michael attempting to get into the car as I attempt to take the photograph of him. Sleeping outside his hotels, seeing him in concert, everything has all been worth it for me, and if he came again, I'd do the same thing again.
I've still got my pride, got it deep inside.
We used to be fans too when we were younger of other bands, and we knew what it felt like to be ripped off, so we wanted to make sure that that didn't happen to our fans.
I mean,
so that's the sort of involvement.
That's right, and we try and make everything more personal. It's not just like a photocopied sheet that people get. You know, we write a message with each.
Well, another day, another dollar. Got all this stuff I've got for them.
Alright, chaps.
Hi, Justin. Oh, look at all this stuff for you lot. All coming today. Probably the best thing about working for the fan club is knowing that it's my actions and it's my responsibility that is going to make the fans happy. There you go. Dear Brother Beyond, I like your songs. If it is not too much trouble, could you send me 100 posters, T-shirts, records and tapes, jumpers, jeans, and a stylus for my record player? Needless to say, we didn't, but it's a fantastic letter and we've kept it. As well. I do have a lot of contact with the fans. I'm their leak, as it was. I sort of, if they need to know where the bands are, what they're up to, they give me a call and I sort of do my best to sort it out for them because they're no trouble and they're really good and the band like to see them and it's nice to have their support and it's much appreciated.
You sort of find out where they go and then if we know where they are, we stand around getting cold, but then it's all worth it afterwards.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sometimes, yeah.
Nathan.
Why do you like Nathan? Because
he's just really nice. He's just lovely, basically.
You also get a lot of fans that maybe they say they're going through a hard time or whatever at home, and they can sort of look to the band or identify with the band. And you know, I've had girls turn up on my doorstep, you know, like 3 o'clock in the morning, crying their eyes out, having problems at home. So those sort of, you know, situations happen.
Yeah, it gives you a certain responsibility, you know. Sometimes things get a bit serious and you suddenly feel that you have to be very careful in how you reply. I mean, it's very difficult to reply to most of the letters, but once in a while somebody will write a letter you feel that you must do. And I used to write often to a girl who had anorexia, and I mean, all I did was sort of chat to her about it in the letters, but apparently it helped her, just because it was someone who wasn't in the family and she could be friends with, you know. So that's something else that's beneficial if you can take the time to do it, you know. Touching, heartwarming story, that's true, though.
Oi!
Hey, Kylie.
Yo, Dad!
Bananarama, they are the tops. They really are the best. They love them in the north and south and in the east and west.
I've liked heavy metal music since I was about 10, when first heard a tape when I was up at Graham's house, and just sort of followed on from there. I've had a lot of problems about the way I dress and how long my hair is. You know, being told to get it cut and everything. It really gets me down because we're just like any other people.
My parents tell me that I look scruffy, and I suppose I do, but it's to do with I mean, the band members look scruffy. I mean, I don't know, we try to emulate what they do, because I mean, they are role models in a sense.
Never mind.
There's lots of different aspects of it. There's the playing of it, I mean, playing the guitar, or just listening to music, getting into the artwork of the bands, and there's loads of different things to do, you know, and going to the gigs, going to concerts, you know, going to rock discos and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's the whole life.
People say it's just a phase you're going through. In a few years, you'll cut your hair, you'll be nice, you'll wear a suit and whatever.
Heavy metal's been practically unpopular all the time, which for reasons, you know, I can't explain. But I'm gonna like it, I think, for the rest of my life, because I like it now. I can't see myself changing.
He owns a pet dove called Divinity.
He used to have a band called The Revolution.
He used to live in a purple house.
He plays basketball on stage. I've changed in many ways becoming a Prince fan. I've become nicer to other people and everybody around me, because that's the message portrayed in Prince's music, which is love for God and love for other people.
I like his music because it's something different. It's not like anything you really get in the charts here. It's something totally individual, and it makes you feel good when you listen to it.
You get a lot of weird things from people who don't really understand Prince and don't like Prince. They just think he's really a weird sort of person, and I don't know, I think it's maybe frightened of him in a way. They always sort of laugh at anything he does and how he dresses and everything like that.
There's this big thing about Prince because people don't understand him. They think that like the things he do are wrong, like when he's always referring to God, they think, oh, he's taking the fun out of it and everything, when he's not, he's being serious, but people can't see that because he's totally different to everybody else. But the good thing about him is that he doesn't care what people think, and he'll do it whether they think it's right or wrong, which is another attraction about him.
My parents think I'm just a total weirdo. They just laugh. When they come into my bedroom and they see some posters and pictures, they just think I'm weird.
I've liked Prince for the past 3 years, so I don't think he's going to disappear off the scene that quickly.
When I started liking Prince, I knew what everybody had said, that it was just going to be a phase, and I can see that it's not going to be a phase, and I'm gonna be like Prince for the rest of my life.
I like to dress like Prince because I think it's a good thing to do, and it's a way of showing that you like him and things. I met River at a Crystal Ball event in London, and he just happened to be on the bus, and I wanted to know where he got his suit from. Once went in McDonald's in our outfits, and people just stand there staring and go, oh, look at that, like this, and they'll say, he's wearing high heels because he wears high heels, and they can't get over it, and they think you're totally mad and things.
New Kids on the Block are great. They're really cool and up to date. Donnie belongs with the Northside Posse. Danny and Joe are brothers too. Jordan and John are not related. Joe's still studying because he's still at school.
They don't live a life of luxury, neither do they live in poverty. They don't live in houses and they don't live in cars. Instead, their lives are overrun by ours.
When was Madonna born?
16th of August 1958.
Correct. What was Madonna's grandfather's Christian name?
Nicole.
Correct. Who did Madonna marry?
Sean Penn.
Correct.
I first began to like Madonna in 1984. At one point, I think myself, I was really obsessed. I used to go into the local newspaper shops and their places like that, and I used to look through every single newspaper, every single magazine, and I'd buy the magazine or newspaper, 4 copies of each, just if it had got a name in it. When I was very obsessed, I never used to go out at all. I used to stay in the house, and I'd just rearrange my Madonna posters and records to make the display better in my bedroom for when people came in to see it. I never bought any clothes. When I went out with other friends who weren't Madonna fans, whatever they were saying, I would bring Madonna into the conversation. She'd either done it, seen it, or said it before. The most obsessed thing I've done is when the tickets went on sale for Madonna's UK appearance in 1987, I slept outside Wembley Stadium for 38 hours queuing for tickets. I went through and I went to every single concert, and I bought something like 10, 12 tickets, just to keep some tickets that I wasn't going to use in mint condition. But I made myself really ill. For what? It doesn't matter how many records you've got. I mean, it's all material things. Someone could be a bigger fan than me. I don't think they are, but you can just have 10 records and be a dedicated fan, a true fan, as long as you're aware that it's talent you're a fan of and not the actual person to be pushed to the point of obsession. But I'm coming out of that as well, I think. Now I've got more of a life. I've been involved in things that I wouldn't have had the chance to do before. I've helped write a book with Robert Matthew Walker. We started to write it in January '89, and it took 6 months to write, and it's now out in the shops, and it's the first edition has sold out. So I'm really pleased with that, and the book's been dedicated to me. I've got other interests now as well. It's not just Madonna. Before, Madonna was the only pop star that I liked. Now I've got a wide taste in music. I see other people's films. I'm fans of other people. I'm a great fan of Bette Midler. I love her. Yeah, I think I'm more worldly wide now. More wiser.
I would like to meet Prince, but not as a sort of preset date. I'd like to meet him just, say, normally out in the street.
No, I don't think I would like to meet Prince for the reason that I wouldn't know what to say to him if I did meet him. I'd be so scared of saying something to offend him.
I would like to meet Madonna on her own terms, officially. I'm going to write to the record company this year, see if there's any chance when she comes to England for a backstage pass, but I doubt it.
I mean, I'll probably never get a chance to meet, Megadeth, but I mean, I'm not too bothered about that. I mean, I like the music. I'm not sort of worshipping them or anything like that. I just like the music they play.
My ultimate ambition in life, obviously, is to meet Michael Jackson. I've tried so hard and so far it's not come true, but I believe that one day, I believe that this hasn't all been for nothing.